Hey folks, welcome into our spring sports show, and we're coming to you from the Boulevard, and it's presented by the Boulevard, the Blue Raiders Spring Sports Show. This is the first of 5 that we will have this spring, and today we're going to be talking about racket and net sports, and that would be men's and women's tennis, and obviously we're going to lead things off. Ladies' first day here on this Monday, and Teo Bailey-Duvall, women's tennis coach, is here. How you doing, dear?
Hey, doing good.
Doing good. And also, Alessia Truden is here, and I got that right.
Yeah, you
Good
did.
deal. Now, Alessia is with the women's team, and I want to remind you, coming up kind of in the middle, I've got a rundown of all the things that are going to be going on this week because it is a busy time of year for all of our spring sports, everything from both tennises who will be heading up to Virginia here later in the week, and we'll kind of dive into that. We've got softball's going to be at home, baseball's going to be on the road. We've got who else? Soccer is going to be at home this week against Murray State. So just a whole lot of stuff going on. And right off the top, just want to remind you a couple of things. Number one, if you go to goblueraiders.com and scroll down, there's a calendar right there of everything that's going on this week. And also, if you have not downloaded the Blue Raider Athletics app, you need to do that because whether it's radio broadcast, whether it's ESPN Plus broadcast, whether it's live stats, or just you want to check the roster of whatever team it might be, it's all right there. It's all free. And plus, if you're a season ticket holder, you can manage all your tickets right there on the Blue Raider Game Day app. All right, Teo is here, and you are going through being a mom for the first time as head coach. And how have you balanced work and mom life this year?
Well, two kids.
Yeah, two.
So it's a little bit more difficult with 2 rather than 1. I will say that. At least going home at night and having, to have the energy to stay up for another 2 to 3 hours and bounce off the walls with my 4-year-old, and then, be there as the nurturing mom for my 1-year-old. So it's been great. It's been a little bit different, but it's been good.
Well, and you always say if you want to get something done, give it to a busy person because they can, if they've got a lot of stuff already going on, they know how to take care of things, and
Yes.
and moms are perfect
Yes.
to do that. But it's been a fun spring. You guys have had the most wins in 7 years since like 2018, and what's been the key to that?
The key has been the team culture.
Yeah.
We really made a big adjustment with the team. I've made some personal adjustments as a coach, and I think that combination has lent to us just being way more successful than we have in the past.
Yeah. Now, Alessia, talk a little bit about you because I'm always intrigued by our international student athletes, and I think back, to when I was 18, 19 years old, and I had to come all the way from a whole hour away from here, from my hometown, to when I came to college here. You came from Europe, from Italy, and with no promises. I mean, you came on a dream to come here and play college tennis and go to school. First of all, welcome. Thank you for being here, and kind of talk a little bit about that of when, as you were growing up and as a youth tennis player, that did you see America as the place where you wanted to go?
Yeah, so probably since I was 12, I was already talking to my friends, and I was always telling them the same thing, like, can you guys give me more information about how college works in the U.S.? I never looked into universities in Italy because I wanted to try and play tennis going forward, and coming to the U.S. was the best decision I've made.
Yeah, and was it a long drawn out decision, or did you just make it and say, here I go?
Honestly, at 12, I talked to my friends and I was like, just let me know the exams I have to take. Wrote down SAT, TOEFL for English, and then I just went on with that.
Now, when did you start learning to speak English?
I think I was 3 or 4.
Oh, okay. So
I was pretty little.
it's not like you got over here and said, okay, now I've got to start learning because you're really good. I mean,
Thank you.
I mean, at first, it's not, you don't have like a super thick accent. You're very, very easy to talk to.
Sometimes it comes out though.
Sometimes it does. Okay. Now, when is that? Is it like when you? Well, here's a question I always ask international kids: when you are sleeping and you're dreaming, do you dream in Italian or do you dream in English?
I wish I could tell you because I don't remember my dreams.
You don't? Because I've heard, we had a basketball coach here one time, Randy Wheel, who spoke 7 different languages, but his main language was Portuguese because he came from Curacao, and he said that he dreamt and if he was thinking, he thought in Portuguese. So just kind of, but obviously being here, he had a lot of English. Okay, Teo, your doubles groups have been especially good this year. Talk a little bit about that and how that all kind of came about and the successes that they've had.
Well, we've moved around doubles pairings a lot, and basically we fell on this pairing of Alessia and Ratuja and Cassidy and Ilaria, and once they got on the court, it just clicked. We have a nickname for Alessia and Roots as warm and fuzzy, because when they're on the court, I'm like, I just feel really good watching you play, and it's shown that they've had so much success, and they actually get along very well off the court. So I think that matters as well. They're pretty close, and so is my other doubles pairings, and then my number one doubles pairings with Lena and Ellie. They've moved around a bit, but I think they're finally starting to click, and so a lot of it is there's someone in each pairing, or most of the pairings, they have experience in doubles, and to go out there and play confidently is super important, and know you can be aggressive when you should, but also manage the mistakes. And overall, that's what we've done, and that's what allowed us to get a lot of doubles wins.
Yeah. Now, with Ratuja, does the chemistry start off the court before you get on the court, or did it just kind of develop on the court and has continued off the court?
I think it's just a mix of both. I really like playing with her because our game styles match. She gives me a perfect setup every time for volleys, and I do the same for her. And outside the court, we're just very good friends.
Good.
So,
Now, where's she from?
She's from Pune, India.
Okay, gotcha. Playing doubles as opposed to singles how much in your head do you have to adjust, because when you're playing with a doubles partner as opposed to knowing that the whole court is yours when you're in a singles match?
I don't know. I like to rely on myself, but I also love playing doubles because, you win and lose together. So you have someone to always lean on whenever you're having a very good match or whenever you're having a tough one. Yeah. We balance each other out, and we've done great this season by doing that.
Yeah. Now, when folks come to see your home matches, whether it's at the Outdoor Tennis Center or out at the ATC, it always begins with that doubles point. Mm-hmm. And I know you sit there and you strategize and you do the math and all of that, but it's, you hear football coaches talk about, scoring first, you have so much better chance to win, all that kind of stuff. So with tennis, how much of an advantage is it to winning a match when you can get the doubles point early? Takes a lot of pressure off.
It can. The journey or the path to victory is a little bit shorter, right?
Right,
and so,
exactly.
3 matches versus 4 if you don't win a doubles point. I think the girls, when we do win a doubles point, that we go into the huddle in between singles and doubles, and they're pretty excited, pretty pumped up, especially when we were kind of winning in a row over and over and over. So it takes a little pressure off, and the girls go out there and battle. I always tell them every match matters, though, and every match counts. So everyone out there is going to fight. But then the few times we did not win a doubles point, but then also won the singles, so we still won the match. Mm-hmm. That also can build some grit, and resiliency, because sometimes you will play a team that's just better in doubles than they are in singles. Yeah. And then we have to still bounce back and get that win either way. But doubles is super important. It's also super fun to start off with that victory. Yep.
And this group is fun to watch because they they seem to really enjoy being around each other.
Yeah.
And and you can't fake that
No.
at all. You can put them in situations, but you can't force it.
That's correct. That's correct. And I think that's the big difference this year. I kind of let them take the lead, and we're definitely a team-led team now, right? I'm not dictating everything they do. And if they have questions, I'll help them. But I let them make their decisions on, food, or, maybe they need to adjust their practice times, or maybe they need to adjust what we do in practice, because it helps them feel good about themselves and about their game. And so that's what's been important with the team.
How important was it, Alessia, early on? You guys had you got a big win against Louisville early in the season, and from a confidence standpoint, it seemed like that really fed you guys moving forward.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great win. We always knew that Louisville was a tough team to beat. They're also in a great conference, and also seeing the results right now, we keep proving to ourselves that we're able to compete with teams that are at a higher level. We're able to compete with anyone, so just giving us more certainties about how good we are.
Now, she talked about some of the changes that she made this year in letting it be more of a player-led team. How do you think that's affected the girls and as far as putting the responsibility back on your shoulders?
I honestly don't think we felt any responsibility. It was more the group came together, and then as we made a decision, we came and talked to Teo, and I feel like that just impacted everything in a positive way.
Yeah. Now, against Navy, you picked up your 100th career win. I mean, that's not an easy number to get to in college tennis, because the matches you play are limited, but 100 that's a pretty good number.
Thank you.
Talk a little bit about. When you look back over those 100, what about some that stand out to you as that were super important to you and felt like that were certainly satisfying along the way?
Well, you were talking about Louisville, and I would definitely mention that one because I had lost to Alice in the fall, and I had spoken to Teo about it, and I told her I was not going to lose that match again. So when I went on the court, I just had, I guess, that, extra energy to beat the girl, because we both have a very good level of tennis. I just had to probably do a little better mentally on that side.
Just in a short amount of time here, you can tell very quickly that she is very strong-minded, and you need people like that in your leadership.
Yes.
Yeah. How important has it been for that? Because to get ranked, because you guys cracked the ITA rankings this year and were at number 71 at one point. So that's been, again, that's another source of confidence for these young ladies as they get ready for the conference tournament.
Yes. Well, being strong-minded out there, because a lot of times you are by yourself, especially with singles, and they fed off each other when they're playing next to each other. So you're not necessarily by yourself, but the will to never give up and to fight for every point, that's what Alessia has. And I think it becomes contagious. And the more she's out there playing and cheering and sliding all over the place, the rest of the team is motivated to do the same and go out and never give up and fight for every point. And earning that ranking, that was a goal of ours. We set some goals at the beginning of the year, and though we may not be at 71 right now, we're still competing at that level.
Right.
After we competed really well against Rice last weekend, who's top 48th in the nation, we competed well. Alessia she was winning. She was beating one of these girls, and the girls know that. And I remind them that, especially going into some of these tougher teams, hey, you're good enough. Louisville, though we beat them in January, they're ranked top 60, 61, I think, this week. So the teams that we've competed well against, there's some teams that we've beaten that will help us know and have confidence and belief that we are a top-level team, and we can definitely make them sweat when we get out there and play with it.
Yep, and you've got, there. Obviously, we'll talk about it in just a minute, but, the success you guys have had hopefully will, move into the conference tournament as well. Now, Alessia, when you came here, did you find that there was any big difference in American tennis as opposed to tennis in Italy and Sicily?
I did have to get closer to the baseline, I'll tell you that.
Oh, really?
I grew up on clay, and I grew up sliding all over the court. So one of the big changes was starting to play in hard courts and having to get at least 4 or 5 feet closer to the baseline.
Yeah, 4 or 5 feet.
Yeah.
Not moving a few inches, just
No.
4 or 5 feet.
Yeah, that's the distance we're talking about.
Exactly. Now, when you came here, I mean, you kind of came here sight unseen, and you got here and you have facilities like the ATC, and now with we've been in the new outdoor complex a little over a year, and what does that when you talk about facilities and like where you grew up playing, I mean, is it, you know, it's I would imagine it's pretty good. It compares pretty well with what you grew up with.
Honestly, no. We didn't have indoors. We just had outdoor courts on clay again. And
If
even
it rained, you had.
yeah,
you
if
got
it rained,
out.
absolutely no chance of playing. If you mop the courts, maybe like try to take some of the water out. But even at my other schools, this is definitely the best equipped university that I've been at. Indoor facility, 8 courts. There's 2 floors. Even the outdoor courts are amazing. At my old school, we were practicing at a high school, and our home matches outdoor were 30 minutes away. Indoors were 15 minutes away.
Yeah.
So this is just insane, and I'm so grateful to be here.
As a player, talk about what it means to you to have a tennis community like they have here in Murfreesboro. It's very, very active and very supportive. To have the type of atmosphere at your home matches, I mean, loud cheering and going on between, whether it's you guys or whether it's the guys who are playing. And especially at the ATC, it gets loud in there. And I would think that is really great for your confidence.
Yeah, that definitely did give us an advantage. And again, comparing it to my other 4 years at different schools, I have never seen so many people come to tennis matches.
So, well, that's great.
Yeah.
That's great. Now you guys get to go on you go on the road, and here in the postseason, and this is what you play all year to get to this point, and you go to Lynchburg, Virginia, campus of Liberty University this week. Matter of fact, you guys will be leaving tomorrow morning,
Yes.
Heading up there. Kind of give us a thumbnail of how of what to expect and how the seedings are going to fall for the tournament this week.
Well, we haven't gotten the seedings yet.
Okay.
They haven't come out for us. I know they came out for the men already, but as of when I came in a little while ago, they were not out yet. So we're still not sure. We're thinking we'll be top 4 for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So that should lend to a pretty decent draw. But we're just waiting. Basically, any minute we should get the news of what seed we are.
Who else in the league has had good years?
La Tech
Yeah.
has had a pretty good year. FIU, obviously, is having a pretty good year. And then the other team I would say is Liberty.
So, you know, they're going to try to use their home court advantage wherever they can. What will be the key for you guys to go up and have success and try to make the NCAA tournament?
I think the key would be to be consistent with who we are and what we've been doing up until now. I don't think there's a major change. You know, the battles that we have, the grit that we have, we continue with that. And that's what allowed us to get all the wins. Though we've had 16 wins, they've been battles. They haven't been easy.
Yeah.
And to go in every day, sometimes multiple times a week, and battle hard and leave it all out there on the court consistently, that is what we're made of, and that's what we do. So in order for us to accomplish that goal of winning conference and making it to the NCAAs, we need to go out with that same mindset.
Yeah. Now, Alessia, tell folks who might not have seen you guys play, kind of go through your roster and tell everybody about your teammates and strong points in their game.
Okay, so Ila,
No pressure here.
I'm just gonna go through it. Ilaria, she's from Italy as well. Definitely backing down the line. That shot tricks me every single time. I keep thinking, like people's worst shot is usually the backhand. So I go to hit towards her backhand every time we play against each other. No, that just doesn't work with her. Lena, she's just amazing player from the baseline. She hits very, very hard balls, and it's just hard to compete against her. Also, very good serve. Cassidy, the beginning when I came here, we told Teo that she chose two people that were exactly the same person on the court. We have a very similar game style, but like with time, we realized that we were different. Hers, I would say, definitely the backhand. Rutsi, my fuzzy. She is insanely good at tennis and definitely her backhand. Absolutely. Her balls are so heavy and it's hard to compete against her. Her serve is also insane, sets me up for everything in doubles. Awesome. Then Zeni. Zeni's just consistent all over the place. She does not make mistakes. And she's honestly has been the key to some of her wins this season. Sarah, I absolutely love her technique. She is an amazing player, and I would say her forehand is the best shot. Karen is honestly the hardest worker I've met in my life. She is always coming on the court and has amazing energy and brings everyone up. I don't know. I would say her forehand is definitely her best shot.
Mm-hmm. What about you?
Me? Definitely not the backhand.
The backhand slice is good. It's good.
But so do you agree? Good scouting report.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, she did pretty good.
I mean, it's pretty interesting. A lot of times, for when student athletes, kind of get into, what about their own team and can break down strengths and weaknesses, things like that. So you've obviously been paying a lot of attention. So
I was watching from the outside a lot last year, so that did help.
Yeah.
But yeah, and we always try to give each other suggestions on how to play. And I have been out a couple of matches because of my injury, but now I'm back and playing. So I was able to be on the court with them and notice what they were doing good and suggest, hey, you should be fixing this. And they're always listening. So that's another great capability that the team has.
Good deal. Good deal. So I asked Teo already, what do you think this team needs to do to bring back the trophy and get in the NCAA tournament?
What Teo always says, to play the player and not the name. I think sometimes we go in with the wrong mentality that, we're playing this amazing team, but we're just as good. Mm-hmm. So we just have to go on court and play as if we didn't even know who we were playing. Just tackle every match as we know and we've shown that we're capable of doing.
And it all starts here pretty quick. And by next week, we'll know whether or not you guys are going to be in there. So wish you all the best of luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Teo, again, congratulations on a great year, and you're not anywhere close to being done yet.
Nope.
And and I know it's been a fun year, and glad that things are going in the right direction. I know that's what you want to do, and to have two little young Teos running around, that's a big deal too.
Yes.
All right. Before we're going to take a quick break here in just a minute, and we'll have Coach Jimmy Borendame. I want to remind you what's going on this week involving our spring sports. As we mentioned, men's and women's tennis will be heading to Liberty for the Conference USA Championships. Women's golf is already underway with the Conference USA Championships. Men's golf will be heading to the Conference USA tournament. They're, of course, coming off a weekend at the Tar Heel Invitational. And coming up at the end of today's show, we're going to be talking a little bit about Carter Manath and about the tragedy involving with his father and grandparents and how the Blue Raider community is pulled together to support that young man after their deaths in a plane crash over the weekend. Blue Raider baseball got a win on Sunday, 4-3 against Louisiana Tech. Chandler Alderman had 10 strikeouts in the game and threw 130 pitches. Tuesday, they'll be at Belmont. This coming weekend, they'll be on the road at Western Kentucky. Softball won 2 out of 3 against Western. They'll be hosting Jacksonville State Thursday, Friday, Saturday, going into Easter weekend. And soccer will be at home on Saturday against Murray State. Ladies, thank you so much for being here. And we will take just a quick break. We'll have men's tennis coming up here on the Spring Sports Show. Welcome back into our second portion of our Spring Sports Show here on Week 1 as we talk tennis. Had Teo Bailey-Duvall and women's tennis in the first part of the show. And here in the second part of the show, we're going to be talking men's tennis. And glad to have Coach Jimmy Borendame and also Karim Al-Amin joining us today. And Jimmy, I just got through going through all the things that are going on in spring sports this week. And it is that time of the year across the board, whether it's tennis, soccer, golf, you name it. All the championships in the spring sports are all coming up.
Yeah, it's a busy time of the year. Yeah, golf, softball. I saw baseball was getting after it this weekend with La Tech. Yeah, and the weather's warm. It's a good time to be at Middle Tennessee.
Yep, absolutely. And speaking of a good time to be at Middle, how many years is this for you now?
Chris keeps forgetting that I'm here, but I've made it 15 years.
15 years.
Yeah. So they haven't got rid of me yet.
15 years.
Yeah.
And, well, when you pick up your 250th win, like you did this year, chances are you're going to be around a while. So congratulations on that.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you.
To be able to take stock in I mean, you're not one of those who runs around and said, hey, that's my 250th win or whatever, but you know, when you look at it, it kind of marks time. When you get like 100, you know, those big numbers. What does it mean to you to, you know, to be able to look at that and say, yeah, there have been 250 victories?
Yeah, it just reiterates that I'm old, right? No, but we've been really lucky. You know, I remember when I got here with 4 players. No indoor tennis courts, you know, a shell of an outdoor tennis facility, and I was fixing up the locker room. So I'm really proud of this place to see where it's come from and to where it is now. But without the student athletes and great assistant coaches that we've had and staff, and it's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, when you think about it.
Well, and you've been obviously a driving force, you know, behind facilities and a lot of that stuff. Karim Al-Amin is our other guest today. He is from Waltrip, Germany.
That's correct.
That's correct?
Yeah.
Well, we had Alessia on from the women's team earlier, and I kind of wanted to get your thought about it because you grew up in Germany. When did you come to the U.S.?
I came to the U.S. the first time in my freshman year, actually. So I've never been in the U.S. before I came to college.
Because I was telling her, I said, you know, here we are, you know, Americans who are so used to either going to college in our hometown or somewhere close by, and you and your family have to make a decision that I'm going to go halfway around the world, and you're 18 years old. And that, to me, takes a lot of self-confidence. It takes a lot of faith in others who are there to be on the receiving end when you get here. What was it like from an emotional standpoint to decide, yes, I am going to go to the U.S. to play college tennis?
So it was kind of a joint decision between my parents and myself, because my parents wanted me to get an education while I'm still trying to play pro tennis. And in Germany, and especially in Europe, I will say that it's barely possible to combine a university education with a career in pro sports, especially tennis. So I kind of laid out my options, and coming to the US to play college tennis was probably the best option that there is out there for young athletes that want to have both parts, an education and the like high performance environment that we have in college tennis. And yeah, that was kind of the driving factor, that I can combine both an education in sports and in academics.
Yeah, I was talking to Alessia and asked her the biggest difference for her from Italian tennis to American tennis. I'll ask you the same thing, and curious to see if your answer matches hers. What do you think is the biggest difference in European or German tennis as opposed to the U.S.?
That's a difficult question, actually, but I believe the biggest difference from European tennis or German tennis to American tennis or college tennis is the mindset and the team atmosphere that we have during college sports. In Germany or in Europe, like, you're on your own, you practice for your own, you grow on your own, like, it's very individual. Here you have a team environment where everybody has to grow, everybody has to flourish at some point, and it's also an easy way to help each other become better players, better people. And yeah, like, that is the main difference, that you're not only playing for yourself, but you're playing for your team, for your coach, and for your university.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what her answer was. She goes, hard courts.
Courts.
Because she grew up playing on clay all the time. She goes, hard courts made me have to she goes, I had to relearn how to play, and it changed where I set myself up on the court by 3 or 4 feet difference in all of that. So it's a faster game on hard courts for sure. But your answer is absolutely right on point, I think. And Jimmy, when you recruit international players, and that it's an interesting time to be doing that right now. But talk about how you get the information, and how did you know about Karim, and do you have somebody bird dogging for you in Europe?
No. Like, Karim's an interesting one, but Karim actually fits kind of this prototypical mold that we've been very successful at while I've been here at Middle Tennessee. First of all, he's tall, he's lengthy, he's lefty, and he's extremely smart. Karim won't tell you, but he's a 4.0 perfect straight A student. He's killing it in the classroom. He's very, very organized, typical German, a little stubborn, but a good stubborn.
Very organized, though.
Very organized. But what really makes me really like Karim is he made huge jumps. Last year, in his game, he was playing pretty good tennis, but needed to make some adjustments, and he did, and now he's skyrocketed from being a guy in and out of the lineup to now he's playing number 1 and number 1 doubles, making the NCAAs. And so, it's credit to him and his work ethic, that he trusts his coaches, that, hey, we're doing the right things and we just need to make a couple tiny little tweaks, and he's done that. So, but about your answer, I'm an old fart now, and so the word gets kind of around that we're doing pretty good things at Middle. We got great facilities, we got great people here in our community, and it's a fun place to play if you want to be serious about your tennis and your academics.
Yeah.
If you're not, then it's probably not the right place for you. So, yeah. Karim is a prototypical superstar for us.
Yeah. When you mentioned earlier about the team atmosphere, did outside of tennis, did you play any other teams? Did you play soccer or anything growing up, or?
Growing up, yeah, in Germany, especially, also in Europe in general, soccer is pretty big. It's the main sport played, and obviously I did, of course, play soccer when I was younger. We did everything here and there, like everything in a team atmosphere, but soccer was the main thing.
You'd never know that, because when we play soccer, tennis, on the tennis courts, he's usually the weakest link. But I'm just kidding.
But do you enjoy? You mentioned how growing up for your tennis, you did it all yourself. You're practicing by yourself. Do you think that the team atmosphere in college tennis in particular brings a new level of energy that is just might not be there otherwise?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, everybody has bad days, and if one of us has a bad day, then there's others in our team that can pick each other up. And I think that is a tremendous advantage that we have in college sports, that we're able to back each other up. And if I have a bad day, my teammates are pushing me to still give everything I have on that day, even though it's not 100% at a time, but everybody looks out for everybody. And it's just amazing how much help we can be for each other.
Yeah. Well, as Jimmy mentioned, Karim and his doubles partner, Andre Horak, they had a high rank of 40 in the ITA earlier, currently ranked number 51. But when you think about all the doubles teams across the country, 51 is really, really good. You guys will be heading to Lynchburg later this week for the Conference USA tournament. How important was it to finish up the regular season with a couple of very decisive wins over Wichita and TSU?
Yeah, I mean, the key is always to trying to play our best tennis going into the postseason. We're sitting as the number 1 seed going in, it was solid wins. I mean, TSU is a much improved program. Wichita State's new young coach, I like the fact that we're getting close to health, 100% healthy, and it's just where we want to be. And so, knock on wood, it's moving in the right direction. So I'm excited.
A lot of times you learn about your team, about how they handle adversity, and this team, to be very honest, has had adversity throughout the year, and still, it says a lot about the character of these guys that are on this roster right now, and where you are going in as the number 1 seed.
Yeah, I mean, I think
we could write a book.
Yeah, I was coming home from Louisville the other day, and I told my wife that if I got struck by lightning right there on the way home, like, not to be surprised. Like, the adversity is like turning into like my middle name. It started very early in the season, and we've had some rougher things, but I guess it's karma a little bit. We've been very, very fortunate, very, very successful for years and years, but I actually truly believe that this team will probably and may very likely exceed all of those other teams potentially, and could be playing its best tennis going into the NCAA tournament. We'll see. So, usually what do they say? If it doesn't kill you, it makes you stronger.
That's right. That's what Kelly Clarkson said.
Oh, is that right?
That's right.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm a pretty strong dude, apparently. So,
you have never been afraid of scheduling really good opposition, and how have you gotten so many Power 4 programs to come to Murfreesboro? Was it once you got the ATC, that facility built, was it that, or did you bribe people? What did you do?
Yeah,
your Italian background, did you know people?
Yeah, I told them I'd give them a choice that they couldn't refuse. Right?
Yeah,
Is
that's
that
right.
from was that Sopranos or no? That's
in The
Godfather.
Godfather. That's right.
No, I am Italian, but no. I've just realized that not only do my players get very excited for when we play great teams, our community gets excited. They come out when we play University of Tennessee, Auburn, Alabama. I mean, next year's schedule is also stupid strong. And
You already got it in the books.
oh yeah, I mean it's all done. I think I have one last match to add, but other than that, all 25 dates. And with Alabama coming to Murfreesboro and San Diego and Pepperdine, all these. But, the players get excited about this as well. And I found that if you play against Panera-bred State University and School of the Blind and Deaf, nobody else gets excited. Nobody gets excited, and the players kind of get complacent. And I would rather lose, 25 matches than get the guys better. So, that's just been my tactic. But I'm a pretty stubborn dude, and I want home and away relationships. And so that's just only thing I'll accept.
You've been watching Kelvin Sampson, had you, in the NCAA tournament? He had some pretty creative names for opponents that they never played at Houston as well.
Gotcha.
Karim, talk about that. This year, you guys played 11 opponents that were ranked by the ITA, and multiple opponents out of the Power Five. Like Jimmy said, does that get your juices flowing?
Definitely. I mean, that is also one of the reasons why I chose Middle Tennessee, because we have such a strong schedule with so many good opponents, and every day is a new opportunity to beat one of those big programs, and it just shows the consistency and the resilience that we have here at Middle Tennessee, being in a somewhat smaller conference, but we are able to beat Power 4 schools every day, and it is really like an additional motivator because they're coming from those big schools and they're thinking they're all big and like we should be afraid of them, but that's not the way when they come to Murfreesboro or even when we go to their place. So that is really also a big factor why I chose Middle Tennessee.
Yeah. Jimmy, one of the great compliments your team and program has gotten over the last 3 years has been being selected to play in the ITA kickoff this year against Florida up in New York City. They don't pull names out of a hat to come do that. You have to earn that.
Yeah, it's based on the previous year's ranking. It's actually a really cool thing. Then it's a draft, just like the NFL draft. They go in order of national ranking, and you get to kind of pick where you're going to go. And I purposely love it because there's a number of teams that won't play me in a home and away scenario, and so
guess who you're going to pick?
Yeah, I've kind of got well, I call it a bad word I can't say on here, but we'll just say
you have a list,
the bleep list.
Yeah.
In my office, and I try to target those teams on purpose. And so Florida and Miami were two, warm climate schools to go play in an indoor setting that we haven't played, and so are willing to play us. And so it was a great opportunity to get a neutral match, and we lost to Florida in a good match, but we end up beating Miami, probably one of our stronger wins for the season, and it's paying dividends for us in the rankings. And so it's often early in the season, so it's kind of like a great little test to see where the team is at. It's an honor to play, but it also makes the schedule just that much tougher. But great opportunity.
Yeah.
So.
Talk about getting to go to New York City and playing in the town so nice they named it twice, New York, New York.
Yeah, so it was my first time in New York, and especially at Columbia, it was great. Like we got to see some cool things in New York, and I think we've been very fortunate to be traveling around the U.S., even all the way to California for spring break, also to get some good matches in, some good practices, and also for our coach to provide us with some other things than only tennis. And we've been very, very fortunate to have experienced many great cities like New Orleans, California, like Malibu, San Diego, as well as New York. So we're all very grateful.
You're living the dream, aren't you?
Exactly, I am.
You have been back and forth a little bit between playing on court 1 or court 2. Does it really matter to you, or whatever is going to help the team win that match?
At the end of the day, I will play whatever position I have to in order to win a point for the team. That is all that matters. I could play 6, I could play 1. It doesn't really matter because everybody in our lineup contributes the same way to our result. And it doesn't matter whether you play 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6.
When you growing up, did you play much doubles tennis at all, or was it mainly singles?
It was mainly singles. In Germany or in Europe, we mainly play singles, yeah.
But now the doubles point is so important in every match. Have you enjoyed playing doubles, and in having a regular doubles partner?
Yeah, I really do, yeah. Doubles is one of the most fun things, I think, in college tennis. The energy is just so much like more there than in any other match that you play when you play on your own. And it's been very fun. And at the end of the day, the doubles point is very crucial for both teams in order to win the games.
Yeah. Now, I tell you, whether it's at the outdoor courts or whether it's out at the ATC, and I mentioned this to Teo as well, that first 45 minutes of a match, or first 45 minutes to an hour that has the doubles point, and you're watching up in the stands and you're watching all the different courts, hey, we got something going on over here. That's I mean, for folks who haven't experienced that is really something special.
Yeah, I mean, both venues are set up so that the doubles is on one side of the building, and it, you know, when you look up there as a coach or a player, you obviously the matches are well attended. We're very fortunate. I just had a gentleman the other day came to watch us play South Florida, and he just was blown away. You know, he's up there enjoying a beverage, and he's, you know, hearing the crowd and looking over here, and then it's very social aspect up top, you know, with the mezzanine that was put together to make it that way. And if there's a match over here and Karim's and Andre are kind of boring because they're killing some fools, and then you can turn over here and be like, yeah, this is a good match. Let's go watch this. Karim is just too good, so let's watch over here. And I really like that. And it's also very, I always tease, I coach better when there's a big crowd too. So, and the players play better. So
Gotcha. Fans see the matches. Coaches see practice. Talk about what you look for when you make out your lineup card for a match 1 through 6.
yeah, I mean, I'm a big kind of a structure guy kind of thing. So I've got this one-page document that's put together. It talks about how I make the decision because, you know, I don't want players to be upset with me about how I make the decision, and it's very systematic. Some of it has to do with practice matches. Big chunk of it has to do with matches against other team because that's what we're here to do is compete and win points, and that's why Chris, you know, still keeps me around because we win some matches. And then last, I leave myself some intangibles because, you know, like if a dude is doing something he's not supposed to be doing, or he's not doing a little bit of extra, and this one's doing some extra, I give myself that wiggle room to kind of do some coach maneuvering. And, you know, that's a big piece. But they earn the spot. I don't give them the spot. And so we keep track of all the challenge matches and keep track of the results and do all those things. And then that's how it's decided. So some guys look at it the other way. They think, oh, Jimmy picked me to play this. Well, no. You earned that spot. Hence, that's why you're playing there. You keep winning, you'll move up. You lose, you move down. Period. Like, it's pretty cut and dry. But, you know, some players think that it's, you know, you're about favorites or whatever else, but it's not.
Yeah. And I've always thought you coach tennis like a football coach a lot of times. I mean, it's not for the meek out there. And I say that because most coaches in team sports, they want to set it up to where their practices are hard enough to where it makes the games easy. Do you go by that philosophy to some degree?
I mean, you'd like to think so, but and that's the plan. But you know, in this day and age, you know, it's changing quite rapidly. I don't know. We don't have 10 hours to talk about how college sports is deteriorating as a whole. But you know, yeah, I mean that is part of the plan. But you know, at the end of the day, you know, you've got to work hard, and if you got to put the time in, and if practice is tougher, then yeah, the matches, you know, you can do what you need to in crunch time or when things are difficult. So you've handled that adversity because, you know, one day these guys are going to have to get jobs and support a family and take care of those things. But they either will step up or they'll, you know, not make it. So we'll see. So hopefully that's part of the master plan to develop men.
Yeah. Karim, you guys are heading to the conference tournament this week up at Liberty. asked Alessia the same question. I'm going to ask you to do the same thing. Take a look at your roster. If you were, let's say you were scouting the Blue Raiders, okay? Mm-hmm. Give me one thing about each one of your teammates that you think really stands out and is a positive for the way that they play.
Okay.
Take us through the list.
That is an interesting question. So, first of all, Jakub. I will start with Jakub. He's 6'3", 4", and he's just a key piece in the atmosphere and culture that we have. He's very disciplined in what he's doing, and he's also a driving force of our team to be successful because he's always positive on and off the court, and he doesn't give room for anybody to be negative, which is very good in a team environment. Andre, my doubles partner, he's always in a good mood. He always brightens the mood of the team, which is also very good because at team practices you need to have one of those guys that, lightens the mood when it's raining outside, So he's been really good at that, and at the same time, he's a very consistent player that just wins when he has to. Next up, we have Rosti. Rosti is a big, tall guy. His game might look a little weird, but he wins. He hates losing more than anything in this world, I think, and that is what makes him so dangerous for anybody that plays him. So he's also a very important piece because he wins matches. Igor is interesting. We make the jokes in our team that at every practice, it's not a practice until Igor is on the ground. Igor is hunting balls from everywhere in the court. He's the fastest player that we have on our roster for sure. And he's just everywhere. And not a lot of people like playing people that bring the ball back every time. Me included. I hate it. But that's why it's good that he's on my team and not on the opponent's team. Christian is a very hard-working guy. His work ethic is right on top, and he is doing all the right things in the team environment, and he's positive. He is engaged. He is really also a valuable piece in our team. Shu is big, tall, Japanese person. Like, I've never seen somebody from Japan being that tall and big as he is. And his game is so powerful. He's overpowering people just by walking on the court. And his game is very forceful and very powerful. So he is able to just overpower players at will. Am I missing anybody, Coach?
Casper.
Oh, Casper, yes. He came in as a freshman, and he has just been winning every match. He has started at 6 or 5 in the lineup in the beginning of the season, and
he's really exciting.
Yeah, it is. He has been moving up the ladder ever since, and he is winning matches exclusively. I think his record is 14-2 or something like that. It's really impressive how he's a freshman, being new and doing damage like this. It's pretty impressive.
Good deal. What do you think about his the way he takes a look? Pretty accurate.
Yeah, he does. Karim's kind of like the sensible leader on the team and,
Gotcha.
and takes a good view of things. So he did a really good job on that, I think.
Good deal. Okay, you guys are the number 1 seed in the conference tournament coming up. Who else is playing well in the league, and who do you really look at and say, hey, we've got to make sure we're going to be ready for them?
I mean, you always think about the host a little bit just because
Right. Home court.
But to be honest, everybody always asks me this question, and everybody's pretty good, but I just really focus on us as much as I can and let them worry about us.
Yeah.
My goal is this week to get a little bit better at a couple little things that I saw yesterday on my little cheat sheet, And if we take care of our business, then everybody else is just going to keep worrying about us. And so
Yeah.
I don't really have a person I'm worried about or thinking about.
Well, you got that first handful of rings finished up last year. Now we're starting on the second handful.
Well, I have 7 already,
Get
but
7 already.
5 CUSA. So I'm trying to fill out the Sun Belt hand. But
There you go.
we'll see.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's this squad's a new team, so
Yep,
we'll
exactly.
take it that way.
One thing I want to talk about, not one of your athletes, but we had an event happen over the weekend. Carter Maneth's father and grandparents were killed tragically in a plane crash down in southeast Tennessee in the Cherokee National Forest. Going to watch him play in the Tar Heel Invitational, I can't imagine what their family and what Coach McIntyre, had to go through last Friday when that happened. But what we've seen though is that the whole Blue Raider family pulls together. When somebody's hurting, everybody pulls together, and I know that would be exactly the same if it happened to be with your ball club.
Oh yeah, I mean, and beyond, Chris Edge, the assistant coach of the men's golf team, is a former MTSU men's tennis player, and so obviously, I've reached out and just I haven't had that happen, but I feel for the whole golf team, the Blue Raider community. I didn't believe it.
Yeah.
So my thoughts and prayers are with them.
Yeah, absolutely. So, folks, if you think about the Maneth family, keep them in your thoughts and prayers this week. And they're going through a lot. And our Blue Raider golf team is continuing to play in the Conference USA tournament that's going on this week as well. Jimmy, thank you. And Karim, thank you for spending some time with us. And good luck this week. And hopefully another NCAA tournament berth will be heading your way very soon.
Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
That's going to wrap it up for our episode 1 of our spring sports show, presented by the good folks here at the Boulevard. And by the way, when you check the menu, there is an item on the menu with this fella's name on it, and you might want to see what that's all about. So again, thanks for being with us, and be loud, be proud, and be blue.